Hey guys, this is Krista from the Moratorium. Do you like grisly gore and mysteries? Of course you do. That is why I suggest you subscribe to my blog, Suspended Animation, Dormant Stories Waiting to be Told, where we at the Moratorium offer a number of lurid tales from axemen running around New Orleans to phantoms in Texarkana. And if you're feeling especially generous, head over to our Patreon, where for just a couple bucks a month, you can help the Moratorium grow. And that would be pretty kick-ass. And remember, long live VHS.
Fresh off of a week vacation and ready to get back into the podcaster life. Welcome to the Yarn Wall, a place where Jason and I sweep up after our last movie. It's like a free-for-all, dare I say smorgasbord of movie trivia. This week we continue with our Golan Globus Part 2. So let's get into it. Cue the music.
And in 3, 2, 1, I already forgot it.
You will be soon as big as a giant, or like all the others, dead.
You think I imagined all of it, don't you? You think I'm insane?
That's feng shui.
A match made in a bathroom. Just floating into the void. I have Menachem Golan's
Email address?
name written out phonetically so that I quit trying to put that. I kept on trying to say Menachem, you know? And then I think I called him Manaheim, like Manaheim Steamroller the last time.
No, like 6 to 8 times. I think we both did.
Wow.
Easy.
It's really easy. It's just Menachem.
Yeah. When you do listen to some of the people talking about him in the documentaries, there's a lot more phlegm involved in his name than there should be.
Yeah, I think people that feel like they can pull that off will go ahead and try to pronounce it like that. But then, like, guys from Oklahoma, it's better just to spell it like Manokam, Menachem.
That's exactly what you have written down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that is what I'm calling him. He's still with us, right?
Golan is dead.
Okay.
Yeah. He died in 2014.
Globus
I think, is still with us.
Yeah.
Right.
He sort of looks like Schwarzenegger's friend that was in all of those.
Sure.
His face does, not his body. Not his body.
I was like, all right.
I guess I think I have like beard blindness. If somebody has a beard, they just all look the same to me.
Dude, the amount of freaking jumpsuits that I looked at. Unbelievable.
I feel like if I would do the same thing if I was,
I wish I could pull that off.
Rich foreign movie producer, pocket full of coke.
Isn't that like a one of those quizzes that you can do online now? Is like, which foreign movie producer do I most represent?
Oh my god! Oh. Can you do that?
Sure.
I would love to do that. We'll do that test and we'll put it on the website or something.
Let's get in the show because or we can just quit.
Let's just talk, but record it.
Okay. Isn't that what we do anyway?
I guess I just described the podcast. I'm an idiot.
Welcome to the Yarn Wall. I'm Tim Kornman, and with me as always is Jason Walker.
Hi. Did you say Jason?
Jason. Jason Walker.
That's how Menachem Golan would say it.
Yeah. I tried to listen to him in a few interviews talk about different people, and I had trouble keeping up with. I was like, "Holy!"
So energetic.
Having him say Sylvester Stallone is a difficult thing.
It's a mouthful for him.
Yeah, but there are several interviews about him. A few of them which I watched on YouTube. You can see one which was looks like it was from 2015 called "Golan: A Farewell to Mr. Cinema."
Oh.
And it's not funny.
Yeah. Bro, it's not meant to be.
Right.
Okay. It's not meant to be ironic because he was like made crappy movies.
The producer of this documentary, I guess he had done different interviews with them before about their movies.
Mm-hmm.
This was just in the very twilight after everything was just gone, basically. He's just, because it was 2015. When did I say that he died?
I already don't remember.
2014 is when he died. This came out after his death.
Okay.
So he was looking pretty rough in it, but he was telling stories, you know?
Yeah.
If you could skip past it and get to his stories of when he was on the set and when they were hot and doing things.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Is pretty freaking cool. Now, there was another documentary I watched that was, it had to be in, I would say, late 80s. It was called The Last Moguls, and it was a BBC documentary.
Wow. So you know it's good.
Yeah, it's from 1986, and so they're talking about some of their prime shit.
Yeah,
It's pretty interesting. It actually shows them in doing certain deals on the phone.
Yes.
And the way that they talk to people and the way that they were
They're
able to
gangsters.
convince them. Yeah.
In that Electric Boogaloo, Globus, when he's yelling at people on the phone, they have a couple of, videos of that. And, Menachem's just like giggling in the background. It's like they're pranking somebody.
Right.
But no.
But they have a game. They know.
Exactly. But I mean, it was pretty terrifying, you know?
And I thought that I actually watched the documentary, which was the Go-Go Boys. And I think I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
I even posted it on social media when I was answering Jonathan Knight. Jonathan, I'm sorry, I didn't watch the Go-Go Boys. I couldn't find it, but I watched some of these other documentaries.
Right. There's more than two.
And it had some lot of interesting stuff about the meat of them in their prime.
Yeah.
Of how they were able to make these deals and continue growing astronomically in the 80s.
And I'm sure that it's, kind of glosses over some of the,
the troubled times.
Yeah, and their kind of business dealing, the way I'm sure it made them out in a better light.
What they were doing, was that close to like
a racketeering or something
or a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, kind of.
They're selling a movie by over publicizing, hey, we're making this movie to get backers on that movie. Is that to pay the last people from their latest failure?
It sounds illegal, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a way around it.
Because they were all the same company. They were making these movies.
Right.
But they were just keeping their business afloat, and the business was making movies.
Yeah. I don't think they were like breaking the law, but it's like they definitely were, kind of like, they're kind of doing the Trump thing where they were like inflating, their holdings so that they could borrow more money when actually,
Yeah, I buy that.
Yep. They got away with it, kind of.
Yeah.
Until the wheels fell off, but.
Now, was it in the Electric Boogaloo documentary that he was talking about when he was making Over the Top? And he was trying to get the deal with Sylvester Stallone for doing Over the Top, and talked to the Stallone's people, and they said, hey, he'll do your movie, but his fee is $6 million.
Right.
And he says, I don't want to pay him $6 million. I want to pay him $10 million.
Right.
Didn't we already talk about how that maybe Over the Top wasn't the commercial success that they wanted it to be? In my heart, it is a success.
Yeah. I mean,
I have seen that movie too many times.
Yeah. And everybody knows about it, but it's like, did Sylvester Stallone not have anybody that was like, hey, Sly, have you read the script? I mean,
there's a script?
I just can't imagine.
Was that the first movie that they produced with him? I think maybe it was.
Yeah.
And then subsequently they were able to make Cobra.
Right.
And I think a few more movies with him.
Oh my God.
No, Over the Top was 87. Cobra was actually 86.
Right now, if you had a choice, which one would you watch? Cobra or...
Oh, it would have to be a double feature.
I guess you're right.
I know, Jason, you're going to take us down the yarn wall later and take us to next week's movie.
Yep.
And we talked about this off camera. I always want to say off camera. Off air.
And, technically...
I assume that the NSA is filming us somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The amount of spam that I get on my phone alone because it's listening to our conversations.
Within minutes of, of actually saying, like, it's almost like, wait a minute.
I'm getting pop-ups immediately.
I just had a dream about that.
Anyway, Cobra, I think I watched that at the theater. I watched many of these movies at the theater because they were so...
It was just right in that time.
But this is the time that we were going to the movies.
Yeah.
So often, every freaking weekend.
Even seeing, like, just movies that normally were like, all right. As an adult, I kind of save all that up for one movie per, I don't go to I guess nobody's going to the theater, I mean, now, but yeah, I would just go see anything back then. You're fucking idiots.
We were talking off air because this kind of goes with what we're coming up with the Summerfest thing.
Yeah.
And if we were going to do that next week or if we're going to do your movie next week, I'll leave that up to you and you don't have to make that decision at this point.
Okay, but I think that my movie will be a nice transition into that.
Aha!
But you don't know why yet. But I will...
And,
I think, all right, maybe, you know what? During this podcast, I'll drop a couple of subtle hints and you see if you can.
You dropped me some subtle hints last week.
Yeah.
And
couple of big subtle hints.
I know which movie you're going to go down, and I'm going to thread together the kind of yarn that I had for it.
Yeah.
You said it was a real short yarn, right?
Yes, extremely. 2 movies, or 3, I guess.
All right.
I'll drop a couple of big bouncy hints through this podcast, and we'll see if we can figure out what.
I'll drop a couple of big dumps is what I thought that you were going to say. Like, oh, God.
It's become that kind of podcast.
All right, guys. Next week, we're going to lay a stinker on you.
Yep. Stink pickle.
That's what I was trying to say. I was gearing up for the Summerfest.
Yeah.
And I've already watched 3 freaking movies.
Oh my God. Can you tell us what they are, or is that something that we're... Okay.
Aha.
Oh, you've got something up your sleeve. Both sleeves, yes. I guess.
I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt.
That's impressive. I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt, but not on my top. I'm wearing it upside down.
You can rip your sleeves off and have any kind of sleeveless shirt. Now we see that in a lot of these movies too with our guys.
Oh my God. Sylvester Stallone alone has been in many, many sleeveless shirts.
But then you've got the wife beaters.
True.
Right? Which are just tank tops, right?
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is pretty prevalent in these movies wearing a tiny, tiny strap tank top. What is that called?
I don't know. His body makes me feel funny.
Like you're sliding down the rope in gym class funny?
Yeah, but I mean, we used to call them wife beaters, but now I think they're called A shirts or something. There's some A. Yep.
I've heard it called A shirt.
A shirts. Maybe that's what I'm giving too much. I'm really coming down hard on that A. It's just A shirt. It's not A shirt. Oh, brother. I'm watching Rat Patrol while we're recording, by the way.
What is Rat Patrol?
Old TV show from the 70s, late 60s.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's got Christopher George in it as the main character, and man, he was really great.
That guy. We need to appreciate him more.
Oh, my God. Well, that's what I was like, okay, we're doing the podcast tonight. What do I got? And I just started looking up stuff, and I was like, I don't have shit. I'm just going to look. I'm just going to see where it's literally just first things first, I looked up the Canon film list on Wikipedia, and it goes on and on and on. It's in little sections, and I think I picked the 80s section, which is,
the best.
God, I mean, just all of those. It's insane. But I stopped on Beyond Evil. I think we've talked about it before.
Where's that one?
1982.
The years don't help when there's 28 movies each year, at least that they did.
Exactly. It's got John Saxon in it. And I kind of I was like, oh, okay.
All right. I'm in.
I just kept reading, and it's such a strange, the way these things are connected. It makes you think that something is, I don't want to say, everybody says like the Matrix or whatever, but I mean, really, it's like the coincidences are weird.
Yeah, very, very strange.
So anyway, Linda Day George is the female lead in Beyond Evil. So I clicked on her.
We did talk about her.
Yeah. Christopher George, that was his wife. And when he passed away, she just quit acting. But, man, she was in some pretty crazy movies.
So you don't think she quit a few years before that?
Maybe so. Well, he died pretty young.
I'm going to be in films, but I'm quitting acting.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Very funny. No, Tim, she was a good actress. Look at the pictures for Beyond Evil, and she's like shooting green laser beams out of her eyes.
I remember that picture.
Yeah, she's kind of like a more unhinged Karen Black a little bit, sort of, if that's possible.
Yeah, which is really stretching it, considering how crazy.
Yeah. She's making a face, and the IMDb page for Beyond Evil is pretty great. Man, John Saxon is just fucking ripped. I mean, like, ripped and tan.
Well, this was 1980. This is prime Saxon.
For sure.
I mean, he was a good-looking guy and in good shape, for most of his life.
Yeah.
But man, no. When he was kicking ass, he was stacked.
Was he in his 70s when he passed away? It was not too long ago, right? Just a couple of years ago?
He died in 2020.
Yeah, right.
Just last year.
I think he's older than he looks.
Yeah, he died. He was 83.
What?
Yeah, when he died.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was only 48 when he was in Nightmare on Elm Street, so that's not so bad. He was our age.
Yeah, I guess
my age.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Wow,
dude, I've got some real stinkers to talk about.
Okay,
because I was just looking at the list as well. I'm really looking at Menachem and his freaking career, just under his filmography.
Yeah.
Now, whether they coincide with the entire scope of Golan Globus, I'm just looking at his information right now and what he's done.
How many directing credits does it give him?
Producing, he has 225.
Jesus.
For directing, 47.
Okay. Because I was reading about Revenge of the Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those where, I mean, it's a ridiculous story where, he hired a guy who, I just had his name, Furstenberg. Can't think of his first name.
Furstenberg.
Anyway, he basically hired the guy, was there on the set when they started filming, fired him, and then tried to do it himself. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't know anything about fucking ninjas. Yes. And then hired the guy back again.
Yeah.
I think that happened a lot.
I don't know what they were capable of, and because they had so much pull. In one of these documentaries, he talks about when he was working on with Roger Corman. Mm-hmm. There was a race car movie that Roger Corman was trying to do, and Menachem was there, and I guess there was a group of people, and it was late at night, and he's like, hey, we've got this race that we're filming in the morning, and we need to have a wreath, this giant style wreath, for the winner of the race.
Right.
We don't have that, and we need that. We need to create that. And it can, who can get me that by tomorrow?
Right.
And nobody spoke up, and Menachem says, I can do it. And then he went to like every flower shop in the area, and they were all closed because it was after hours.
Right.
And he was peeping in one of the windows, and he actually said through the keyhole of one of the doors on this flower shop to see if anybody was inside. And the police stopped and tried to arrest him. He explained what was going on and that he needed to make this wreath. And the police officer drove him up to the florist's house at 10 o'clock at night so he could wake him up. And they went back and they made this wreath for Roger Corman. And he showed up the next day and kind of presented that. And so, he got clout from Roger Corman saying, hey, this guy is going to be a producer.
Wow. How much do you think they paid that florist?
Probably nothing.
Paid him in
I
cocaine.
think they probably did it at gunpoint. Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Like, they were like, look, you're either going to do this or fucking this guy's going to break your ankle.
That's right.
And beat you with a steel rod. I mean, that probably didn't happen like that. We're just...
No, not quite. We're...
Yes, editorializing.
Yeah. Anyway, that was an interesting little side bit, though, of, you know, what they were capable of at such a young age. And I think that's what really propelled their career, and they were able to create this company is because of their ability to negotiate.
Right. And just like get things done against all odds. Well, I mean, that's a perfect fit for Roger Corman. Those two together. Oh, God, that's...
Oh,
I mean...
cannot think about that. Which I watched a documentary on Roger Corman. There were several of them out there. Actually,
Yes.
Mick Garris did some interviews. There's several different ones. You can actually see the age differences in both of their hair.
Right.
Of these interviews with Roger Corman.
Right.
It was really interesting.
I've seen one. I want to say it was called Corman's World or something. That was a popular one, and I think it might be on Amazon, but it was very, very entertaining. It's a weird like dichotomy listening to him talk and then hearing these crazy stories about him, about Roger Corman, because he just seems so like Mr. Rogers. But I mean, he's like
a square.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, he's a teetotaler, but I mean, and then he tells you to, you know, whip your tits out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you'll be fired.
Well, even with Humanoids from the Deep, we talked about this.
Yeah. That was...
He actually went behind the director's back. Well, he told her he was filming these added scenes, but he didn't let her see these. And nobody did until the actual full cut of the movie was out.
Right.
I did watch bits and pieces of the remake. The one with Carradine.
Yes.
Not David.
Right. Yes.
Nerd Carradine. And it is pretty bad.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a badass. He really is. He's not a badass.
I can't...
You're always going to see him as a nerd.
Exactly. How many Carradines are there, would you say?
68, I think. Last time I counted.
I watched a movie with Keith Carradine not too long ago.
Right. Okay. Keith Carradine, wasn't he the one that was in Dexter?
Yes. Who is he in that?
He ends up having a relationship with Dexter's sister.
Okay.
But he's also like, and I don't think he's internal affairs or something like that, but he was investigating Dexter. Dexter's coming out real soon.
Oh yeah. Like a new season of it?
Yeah.
That's insane.
To hopefully redeem their last season. It was a good series. I really enjoyed it. Did it have kind of a lackluster ending? Yeah, but many of the series? Many.
Are you okay?
I just may have had a stroke. Many of the series that are on television, they don't have a way to end it, so it usually ends up pretty shitty.
Yeah, like Lost.
Right. Insane Elsewhere was in a...
Oh, man. That was a dream, right?
A snow globe, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and Dallas.
They don't know how to end it, so they just, like, drop it somewhere in the middle. I can only hope that happens to young Sheldon.
Oh, God. That makes me laugh a little bit every time I hear that. Did you know that Roger Corman produced a movie called Cobra Gator?
Cobra Gator.
Like that. That's a weird mashup. I mean, I know there's a bunch of... Wait a minute. Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf?
Yes.
Oh,
I just
God.
Started looking at Cobra Gator's so recent, though, and has Michael Madsen in it.
Oh, my God. There's a million of them. Dino Croc versus Super Gator. Isn't that what I just said?
They all sound the same because they all have the same basic plot.
It's like they threw one of those sets of magnets that go on your refrigerator and they just with the words on them.
But so if you want to separate between Roger Corman and Golan Globus, though, Roger Corman, and this is what we heard from our interview with Alan Holtzman as well, he said that Roger's not out to make a good movie.
Right.
He's out to give you just enough to get your ass in the seat, get your dollars spent, and you're satisfied.
Yeah.
You're not
under budget and on time.
Yes. Whereas Golan Globus now,
they thought they were doing Shakespeare.
They thought they were exactly. Well, they tried. They did Othello, right?
Yes.
And he talks about selling that. And didn't we talk about that? Placido Domingo.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I thought, wasn't he in blackface? I thought you brought that up.
Oh, yeah. And then quickly regretted that I did.
They wanted, I mean, I think in one of the documentaries, Menachem was just
getting really good at that.
Stated saying that he wanted an Oscar.
Yeah. Yes.
But I think the closest they probably got, John Voight, didn't he get like a Golden Globe out of Runaway Train? And I think that was nominated for like 3 Academy Awards. I don't know what it won. I did not go down that route.
I mean, I think that's probably their most like critically acclaimed movie, would you say? It's the one that when they talk about it, it always gets brought up because the critics loved it. And
maybe that's what helped propel their... I mean, you have a couple of really good successes
legitimate.
Early on.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, they started trying to make more and more movies. And that's what they would make as many movies as possible, get asses in the seats, but promoting the movies before they were even being made.
Right.
Going over to Cannes or Cannes. I'm always going to get that wrong.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Going to Cannes and putting up billboards of movies that aren't even made yet.
When I read that, I was like, holy shit, that's brilliant.
That's brilliant and ballsy.
It is. Also, you said cans. That's another little hint for the movie that I'm going to be giving you little hints, you know.
This one you can watch in the can?
Yeah, you could. I mean, I guess anybody could watch any movie. Take a shit and watch Running Man
or Private Popsicle.
What's Private Popsicle?
That was one of those films that they did.
Oh,
with,
the lemon.
Boaz Davidson.
Oh, my God. Boaz Davidson, the biggest pervert in the world.
I started looking at his career, and it goes on.
Forever.
On. He has produced a ton of films.
He looks haunted when you see it. Of course, he was probably 80 when I saw an interview with him, but... he looks like his hand would just like turn into dust, you know, and just like, oh, well, that happened again.
Let's back up a little bit on Golan Globus. So we were talking about how they basically, when they got started, they bought the Canon Corporation, the Canon Group.
Right.
For like pennies on the dollar.
Right. Which was already making like Swedish films or something.
Right.
Or it was a Swedish company.
They kind of just bought into it and bought a name and just propelled that name.
And I mean, even then they were making like that, like those lemon popsicle, like teenage sex films, you know, basically like Porky's.
Like hot bubblegum.
Ugh, that sounds disgusting.
You ever, left a pack of gum in the car and tried to eat it when it was...
Yeah.
Oh, it just disintegrates.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's not great.
But directed by Boaz Davidson.
Ugh.
But they started getting into a few movies that actually gave them successes, and that's what propelled them up to the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, was it Breakin'?
Mm-hmm.
Breakin', I think, is where we left off. And then Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo was the same year.
Right. Huge successes.
In 1984, it just goes on and on. And I looked at Making the Grade.
Oh, I remember that.
I don't remember watching that. That was Judd Nelson. That was Gordon Jump.
Oh, my God.
Andrew Dice Clay.
I would love a timer. Next time when we do a podcast, I'm going to set a timer. Oh, well, I've got one right here. It was 35 minutes in. Yeah. And we got our first WKRP in Cincinnati cast.
Sorry, I brought up Making the Grade, but
I know, I'm just
little bit after that.
I'm stuck on the movie poster. It's great.
But Making the Grade, 1984, I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think I have either.
You've probably seen this. In 84, they did The Sword of the Valiant.
Yes, that is another. I know it as The Green Knight. It's the one with Sean Connery, right? Yes. I think they called it. I could be wrong. He does play the Green Knight, I think.
Right. And that's why we talked about it. It was The Legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Right. And they throw in some other like Arthurian type stuff in there. But I just remember it from my childhood and it being so weird. And I think I loved Excalibur. So I was like watching anything that had anything to do with like King Arthur and stuff. And that was a very strange movie. Also, I cannot believe Sean Connery would let somebody like paint him like that. I'm sure he slapped at least one makeup department person.
Give me what that would sound like.
There's no fucking way you're putting any more green paint in my hair.
That's really good.
No one better fucking look me in the eyes today. He must have been a monster, don't you think? Back in the day, you just like rape a hairdresser and then just go back to work.
It says here that he was making Never Say Never Again when he did sort of the Valiant.
That's the lamest Bond movie ever.
Was it?
Isn't that the one with Kim Basinger and he goes to like a spa or something? I could be wrong.
Nope, you are correct.
Yeah, that one is so boring.
With Barbara Carrera, Max von Sydow, Bernie Casey, Diana. I'm sorry. I got stuck.
Yep. You got to reboot.
Yeah. Okay, backing up. No, Sword of the Valiant, it says here that writer and director Stephen Weeks wanted to cast Mark Hamill as Gawain, but the producers, Menachem Golan and Golan Globus, cast Miles O'Keefe instead.
Oh, man.
O'Keefe's voice was dubbed by Peter Firth.
Oh, my God. I wonder how much O'Keefe is in this movie. That's an old one, but
we're waiting for it.
I like it, though. Still works.
I held back 3 John Saxon jokes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Man, he's so bad. But I like him. I appreciate him.
I appreciate his abs.
Thank you. I do. I mean, he does have a very, you're not here for the acting chops.
Yeah.
You're here to look at his oiled up body.
I could hear your air quotes.
Yeah. They're, yes, heavy air quotes. And there's usually a girl that's pretty easy on the eyes. I can't remember who the girl is in that one. Oh, can't pronounce her name, so I'm not even going to try.
All right. They also did Exterminator 2.
The first one's the best one, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't know. Is that the one with the guy with it's like Lyle Alzado? No, that's the...
no, I thought it was, but no. We'll get that confused. This guy has like a flamethrower on the front, but it's Robert Ginty.
Yes.
Samantha Egger and Christopher George.
Right.
So...
Oh, that Ginty guy. Do not like him. Deeply unappealing.
But Exterminator 2 had Mario Van Peebles in it.
Awesome.
Frankie Faison.
Right.
You know, he was Dr. Lecter's keeper in Silence of the Lambs, right?
Yes.
And there's an airy gross down there.
Oh, I love you just kind of sprinkle a little airy gross on there just to...
Yeah.
Gives it that kind of... It's like paprika.
Also in Exterminator 2, there's a guy by the name of Scott Slow Motion Randolph.
What? Is that in quotes or is that his Christian name?
It's in quotes.
Hang on a second. I'm not. I need to get on that.
He's only got 2 credits to his name. I really want to know how he got his name. Because the only other credit he has was in Miami Vice, and he plays Manuel Skates Santiago.
Another nickname in his... That's amazing. He's probably a stunt guy, and he did a stunt and kind of like, wow, I really I bumped my head on that parking barrier or whatever. And okay, so you lost me somewhere. We're on the Executioner, right? Exterminator. That's why I'm...
where's the Executioner?
That one is Christopher Mitchum, who I think is Robert Mitchum's second son of Robert Mitchum. Those movies are always great where it's, like Steve McQueen's son, Chad McQueen.
Right.
That makes me laugh every time. Chad McQueen. Doesn't really have the...
One of the movies I watched this week, it actually had Chuck Norris's brother, Aaron Norris.
Okay, yeah.
I guess he was a big stunt man. You know, he did a lot of Chuck Norris's stunts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I've come across a lot of older brothers this week, too, it seems.
Wow. They need to do that, and maybe they did. It seems like in the back of my mind, there was like an Expendables with like all of the, you know, like Frank Stallone and, what's Swayze, Don Swayze, and, you know, it's like a low budget Expendables. I would watch that, by the way. Hollywood, get on that.
I'm waiting.
Chad McQueen. Oh my God. All right, so where are we at now?
We're talking about 1985 in the hot seat.
Okay.
For Golan Globus here. But they did a lot of when there was a trend of hard bodies. And these are the movies that we were wanting to talk about for our Summerfest, right? Our beach movies. I couldn't find hard bodies for free to watch. So I didn't watch that. And that kind of dictated what I was watching for this. But then I stumbled over other stuff.
Well, so hard bodies, I know, I mean, obviously, I'm with Gilbert Gottfried, Up All Night. I've seen most of those, but I remember hard bodies being a little lame compared to like, you know, Bikini Car Wash and stuff like that. I could be wrong. Maybe hard bodies is...
And that's where I think that a lot of these other directors are like, you know what? I think if I show a little bit more boobs, a little bit more ass, we'll get more asses in seats.
Yeah. And also just throw the script in the trash and then
nobody needs this.
Burn it.
Get me Boaz Davidson now.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Bikini Car Wash Company. Oh. It's actually an LLC. So I did not know that. They're legit.
All right. Have they gone public?
I love it when you look at the cast on IMDb and there is no profile pic until you're like way down.
Yep. You know it's a good movie then.
I've got a question. And it might be this movie. What is the one that ends with they're making bikinis, but they make them with like surgical threads so that when they get in the water, it like dissolves. And that's kind of the end of the movie. Do you remember this?
I want to watch that now. What is it?
Yes. Oh my God. There's so many. I am deep in these.
Nick, we need you, buddy. All right. Text me.
God.
There were some hits and misses with these. Like I'm looking at Hot Resort.
Okay, sure.
Hot Resort has Bronson Pinchot in it. You know?
Oh, man. I love him.
But he's not enough to carry this film. Who are these other people? I don't know. It reads, young guys on the make get a job at a resort hotel in the Caribbean. That's it.
That's not even like a full sentence.
No, it's not.
It's like a run-on sentence. I didn't realize that I needed to know Dan Schneider's name, but now that I see him...
Why do you need to know him?
Is he not... Now, maybe I'm getting him confused with a similarly big puffy guy. Was he not in Head of the Class? With Dr. Johnny Fever?
I don't recall ever watching that.
Oh, yeah, he was. What? You didn't watch Head of the Class?
No, I didn't watch Head of the Class.
Man, I guess I was just such a WKRP head that if like any of those people were in anything, I had to...
Which we do need to give a shout out that we just lost Herb Tarlick.
Yeah.
Just
Frank
recently.
Bonner.
Which is sad because I brought him up that same day to somebody at work.
You killed him.
Yep.
You actually killed him.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's like when a bell rings, an angel, gets its wings kind of thing.
An angel clips his wings.
Speaking of Head of the Class, did you know Brad Pitt was in an episode of that?
I did not watch that at all.
I know we're way, way off, but weren't we already when we started?
Were we on?
We were never on.
Okay.
We're always off. But anyway, that show, like, started wow, there's 5 seasons of it?
No, I did not know that.
Somewhere in the middle, I can't even think of Dr. Johnny Fever's name. Howard Hessman was replaced by Billy Connolly. Replaced. I'm sure this is fascinating to everyone, but just want someone to talk about that with me.
We have to do the TV cast.
Yes.
Where you make me watch all of these strange TV shows.
Yes, please.
Like you've made me watch all of these weird and bizarre movies and talk about them endlessly.
We'll do the Alf cast, or just talk about Alf. There's probably one of those out there.
It's on an OnlyFans.
Okay, I'm sorry. I digress.
I did watch the trailer for 1985 Hot Chili.
Ooh.
Because I was looking, like I said, I was looking for stuff for our Summerfest, and I was going down this route. Now, where I actually went was totally off the rails, because I'll find a movie that I like that I haven't seen, and I'm more apt to go for that, even though I really want to watch Up the Creek again.
Yeah, I agree. And I find myself doing the same thing. I'm like, man, there's no way this is as good. Why don't I just watch the better version that I know is out there?
But I will watch these cheesier ones so I have something more to talk about.
Yeah.
Even the trailer for Hot Chili goes on for like
Hot
6
chili.
minutes.
Chili?
Yes, exactly. Chili.
That sounds disgusting, especially in the summertime. Maybe that's what's making my stomach kind of turn, is like, can you imagine just a big old, like, steaming bowl of chili at the beach? Who's that girl in Hot Chili?
It has nobody in it that I could recognize. But Hot Chili reads, a group of American teenage boys go south of the border to work for the summer at a Mexican resort.
Okay.
It says wacky guests, zany adventures.
We get it.
German dominatrix, music
Of
teachers,
course.
hot, giving lessons, buxom cook. All of these words are in this
Buxom.
description.
What kind of word is buxom?
And when you say cook, I'm not necessarily thinking what I should be thinking.
Yeah, there's not like a saucier or like
No, it's a Nancy Parsons smoking a stogie over a big pot and stirring
it's
it.
just
That's what I'm
ashing
thinking
and
about.
scrambled eggs. Yeah.
And muttering obscenities about how she hates kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now wait a minute. Wait a hot fucking minute. There is a still in the images on IMDb of Hot Chili.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Of, I assume, the main character behind a woman playing an oboe.
Yes. And she's naked.
We have seen that picture in relation to something else.
Oh, have we?
Yes. Do you know why?
I know why.
This is a serious question. I don't know.
Maybe because we came across this probably with Taffy O'Connell, who was in Galaxy of Terror.
Aha.
Aha. Menachem.
I think you've... that's going to be our eureka from now on. Menachem. Okay, I also want to point out that Hot Chili was directed by William Sachs, who also directed The Incredible Melting Man.
Okay.
Which was one of, I believe that's one of Stan Winston's first makeup credits. I'm almost positive. Just give me
you
2
can
seconds.
take a look real quick.
I will. Where's he?
Quick
at?
Google search. Rick Baker, Rob Bottin.
Okay, yes, Rob Bottin. That's who I was thinking, Rick Baker. Okay, I'm sorry.
You got all these guys in your head.
Edit all that out.
Oh, that went nowhere.
It really didn't.
So I was looking at other stuff, trying to find something to watch, and that's what led me down a path of watching 3 movies so far, 4 possibly next week's. I'm going to keep teasing this, that we're going to be doing this mini marathon 1 week where we're just doing whatever that hopefully it pertains to summer, because
we need to lay some groundwork for what we think the elements of what we're trying to describe here. Obviously, boobies. I just came right out and said it.
Boobs.
Boobies, dumplings, fun bags, bongos, bazookas.
Melons.
Lady lumps. Heard them called pontoons before, I think. But I think that's more of a particular shape. Shirt potatoes? Have you ever heard them called shirt potatoes? I don't know. Sweater muffins, coconuts.
Yeah, that's good.
How many can we name, I wonder?
I think we could go on and on. Well, tune in next week when we continue this conversation about...
Have you ever heard the term blubber nuggets? Because it's probably my favorite one.
Did you just happen to Google search other names for tits?
No.
I don't think you mentioned a tits.
Tits, right. I mean, that seems... Yes, we know tits. So would you say sand is a component that has to be an ingredient?
You mean just that would encompass a summer flick?
Yes. I guess not.
If you wanted to do summer school...
Right. I mean, they do go to the beach.
That doesn't necessarily... Well, I think they do go to the beach, yeah.
Also, up the creek, not a lot of sand, but they're on the water. Well, they're on a river, right. I guess.
I watched a river movie. Okay. I finished watching it yesterday.
Okay.
And I can't wait to talk to you about it because it has some real familiar faces to us. But kind of an odd one? Yeah. Because Up the Creek is like the only one I can think of. It was a made-for-TV movie, and, it had when they would cut to a commercial, it's usually a still frame of the person in action, like they were getting ready to do something. Right, and it just still framed on their face. Yeah. Yep. That's the level I'm at. Right. Like Martin Balsam hangs up the phone and turns to get up out of his chair, and it's just a dun-dun, Yeah, right. Yeah. That's like died in Vietnam, like the end of Animal House or something. So, but are we going to do that next week? Are we going to go into our summer flex? Are we going to go into... I feel like, now that I'm reevaluating it, my movie fits in for two reasons that I'm not going to name. Okay. It just as easily could go after or before. It's up to you. But we are in, what's today? By the time this next one comes out, we'll be in July. Yeah. Let's do the summer movies next, and then my movie can be a nice little follow-up. I'm going to name your movie later, but... Okay. Well, let's not do it yet. Let's tease it out just a little bit longer. All right. You want to stop real quick and go get a drink? Sure. Hey, freaksters and freakettes. It's Tim from the Moratorium. Do you like the sweet sounds of our witty banter in your ears every week? Well, head on over to our Patreon, and for only $3 a month, you can get even more. In the director's cuts of our movie episodes. On average, that's 20 minutes more of our wisecracking, jive-talking, and lip-flapping laughter straight to your ear holes. Go to themoratorium.com and click on our Patreon link, and you'll find 5 awesome tiers with tons of goodies. You can also find our Teespring link on the website for even more awesome merch. Thank you for your support. Now on with the show. But talking about these summer movies, I got an idea from watching trailers of different Golan Globus movies like this, because I thought I could pick one of theirs, sure, and branch off of it and have even more to talk about. And did you find a movie? No, it led me down different paths where I was like, you know what, I'm going to sit down and watch Last American Virgin, and no, I didn't. Mm-hmm. It was just something I just happened upon. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie, I know it. And then I started watching it. I'm like, shit, maybe I've only seen it once. Right. And I didn't realize it was that good, or that, the one that I watched was rated R. And I was like, holy crap. Well, what does R get you in something like this? You got some boobs. And we got a whole lot of cursing.
I feel like, can't you show, I mean, I think maybe the rules have changed, but can't you show a little bit of boobs and still get away with like a PG-13 or something?
Right, but I think if you say fuck more than once or twice, you're gonna get it.
I'm sorry, but don't watch Censor. Did I tell you that already?
Huh.
Okay, just don't watch it. It'll come up, but don't watch it. It's bad.
Anyway, the one that I watched, they were teenage kids in high school having sex and seeing these people that were actually old enough, but the 22-year-old or such, playing a teenager that is getting topless with another kid in the car. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Does that cross the line with you? I mean,
you mean like morally or?
Yes, morally. We're pretty morally
ambiguous.
Morally
ambiguous.
I want that on a shirt.
No, I mean, I'm good with that.
Now, we started talking about this, I think before, wasn't Brooke Shields in the Blue Lagoon?
The Blue Lagoon.
She was also
very
a real young age. Was she in Foxes or was it Little Darlings? One of those. Was she in one of those? It just seemed like that she was trying to give her virginity away.
That was Tatum O'Neal and Christy McNichol.
Right. Well, which one was Foxes?
That one I don't know off the top of my head. But thank you, IMDb.
Yes.
Oh, that was 1980.
And that was Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah. And wasn't she trying to get rid of her virginity like Scott Baio? Didn't we talk about this?
That's just a whole other level of loathsomeness. It also has Randy Quaid in it.
Yes.
Ugh.
I looked at this just recently because Lois Smith, I talk about her. She's an old lady that shows up every now and then. She was Helen Hunt's aunt in Twister. The one that had all those little windmills in her yard. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Adrian Lynn did Foxes, which is another like...
a loathsome individual.
Oh, God.
No, I watched Jacob's Ladder at the theater, and that was that was 1990, the year I graduated. Saw it at the theater, and I was kind of blown away as like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Came out a different man.
Yeah, I did, exactly. But I also saw Fatal Attraction at the movie theater with my cousin. And I was going to bring this up because we were talking about in the height of our ninja days when we were wearing camouflage pants and, and had throwing stars and shit like that. I had a lot of camouflage pants.
So yesterday for me.
Yes. But I went to see Fatal Attraction with my cousin Mike, who was probably my biggest influence to nerddom. And I think I brought him up in the podcast before, but he's my biggest influence growing up. I wouldn't know what Dune was if it wasn't for him. We actually played Dune, the board game, for many hours.
You lucky devils.
And many different occasions.
Was there a empty seat in between you two when you went to see Fatal Attraction, or were you?
My aunt was on one side of me, and my cousin's on the other.
Oh,
and during the movie, and just happened to be, he tells the story better. I know it is. This was a mistake, right? Right after one of the sex scenes, I adjusted myself in the seat, and I pushed myself up in the seat or whatever, and I popped my button on my pants. Because those camouflage pants were, they just had a little cheap sewed-on button thing, right?
Sure.
But they wouldn't let me live it down. They're like, Fatal Attraction. And for the longest time, my cousin would say, well, bust my buttons, is it not Timothy Corman?
Oh, my God.
And that's how he would introduce me to people, too.
That is something you talk about in therapy years later, I think.
Yes. Thank you, Jason, for listening to that.
Oh, my God. I mean, what is this but just a long therapy session?
That's right.
Long, uncomfortable.
And unfortunately, neither of us are getting paid to listen to the other person.
No, and not really feeling any better afterwards. Nothing is... not making any breakthroughs. We're just kind of wallowing around in it. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. You're fine.
But speaking of, guys, hey, go to our Patreon and
please
help support us. We need to keep
save
this
up
going.
that $1,000 for a shrink visit.
I thought you were going to say a new host.
A gun.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's not that.
Got really dark.
Oh my God. When I looked up Little Darlings, Carney came up. Have we talked about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to take us to Carney not too long ago. And I couldn't do it. I steered my way around it.
God, just the sexualization of Jodie Foster. No wonder she is a lesbian. I mean, like, that she probably does not ever want to look at another guy. Oh, Gary Busey and clown makeup. That's enough to dry it up forever. You know what I mean? Wow. What were we talking about?
I don't know. We just got back from a break.
We were talking about Brooke Shields, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, because I was talking about I was teasing my summer show.
Okay.
Depicting underage kids having sex.
Yes.
Or coitus.
Yep. Christopher Atkins in a diaper.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at right now.
Playing with some jubblies. The twins.
Yep. Twins.
So really, Golan Globus, they started getting in some weird movies. And besides the action movies they were pumping out, they did a lot of like the Delta Force, POW, The Escape. And since we just brought up a Carradine.
Yep.
I don't think I'd seen POW, The Escape. I don't think I've seen that.
I don't know that one.
And it has Mako in it. That's what I brought up Mako earlier.
Oh. Remember Let's Get Harry? That was a good...
Remember better movies? Yes.
Well, now I can't...
Get on the Menahem Golan's Menachem. Sorry.
Menachem. You were doing so well, and then you...
I dropped it. If you look at Menachem's producing, you can see 1986 POW The Escape. The Delta Force was also 1986, which was Chuck Norris, Lee Marvin, Martin Balsam, yet again.
Man, he was just the go-to bad guy.
Bo Svensson, Robert Forster, Robert Vaughn, Steve James is in there too.
Wow.
Kim Delaney. I've never seen the Delta Force.
I'm sure I did back in the day. I feel like Trent loved those movies. Trent, if you're listening, I remember you had a Missing in Action poster. So.
But that reads, after a plane is hijacked by terrorists, the Delta Force is sent in to resolve the crisis.
By shooting everybody.
Killing everybody. I thought it was more of a war movie, but... So Delta Force, but then POW The Escape is Colonel Carradine. They just kept his name, by the way. Probably because he was too drunk to answer to anything but his own name.
Too confusing at that point.
Colonel Carradine leads a group of American POWs battling their way to freedom as Saigon falls to the Viet Cong.
Wow.
David Carradine, Steve James, again.
He also did Lone Wolf McQuade, too, which I feel like is...
I love that movie.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It comes on periodically, and I'm happy to watch the last 30 minutes.
Right. Which is probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah. But at the end, he wins and ends up leaving his wife and daughter on the sidewalk to go chase more bad guys.
Like, can we get a ride home first, or?
Nope. Got work to do.
Yeah.
Detective School Dropouts.
Oh, wow. Detective School.
Yes. It's one we have not talked about. And if you look at it, I remember the box art, but I've never seen this movie. And it reads, 2 bumbling private detectives get themselves hired to find a missing person. They find themselves in the middle of a mob war when it turns out the missing person is somebody the mob wants to stay missing.
I don't know if it's the way you read that or if that is just the...
strange description.
Oh, it's Italian.
It's Italian.
Now that makes sense. George Eastman's in it.
It's written in part and starring Lauren Dreyfus.
And who, you might ask, is Lauren Dreyfus?
How many Dreyfuses do you know?
I am asking that question right now. Who the fuck is Lauren Dreyfus?
Older brother of Richard Dreyfuss.
What? Lauren's a girl's name. Isn't it? I mean, we could look it up, but
yeah. We're already so deep.
Yeah.
So, older brother of Richard Dreyfuss, he frequently does voiceovers for his brother. Okay.
Throw him a bone.
I wonder what a voiceover actor for Richard Dreyfuss goes for these days.
I can't imagine, but he was in Moon Over Parador and Let It Ride. So.
All right.
Man, we're also going to do Stakeout on this podcast eventually.
I went over some weird paths, and in the next couple of weeks, guys, you're in for a treat because I'm going to be going through all this shit.
Oh my God.
But anyway, Lauren Dreyfus also, he played the voice of Old Jay in the Clerks cartoon.
What?
Thought I should give you that.
That is a very strange bit of trivia.
He was the writer on Skate Town, USA.
Yeah, I saw that. Are you familiar with that movie?
No, I'm not. But look, it's Scott Baio and Ron Palillo.
Oh my God.
Ruth Buzzy, Patrick Swayze. You're waiting to see how long it took me to bring up a little person, Billy Barty.
Oh. Well, we did it.
We did it.
We broke the podcast. Thank you. Thanks everybody for...
What are we at? What are we at right now? Let's just go ahead and mark it at 116.
Yep. When the podcast died. Ron Palillo, Ruth Buzzy, Patrick Swayze as Ace Johnson.
Johnson.
I must watch this movie immediately. Wow. Skate Town.
Also written by Nick Castle.
Yeah.
Right? Nick Castle directed The Last Starfighter, was also a writer on Escape from New York, directed a handful of things, including 1993 Dennis the Menace.
Oh, God.
With Walter Matthau. Mm-hmm. And he directed Major Payne.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, such...
Wow.
Damon Wayans classics. Major Payne.
Did you know that Patrick Swayze has an Audi? Because I guess back then, guys' shirts ended they were like 12 inches long. That is disturbing.
Just going into Lauren Dreyfus for a second, though, I stumbled across, how about Dutch Treat?
Ugh.
1987 Dutch Treat.
What does that mean?
I know, it sounds so dirty, and it probably is. Two American friends travel all over Europe and end up meeting an all-female rock band from Holland. Isn't that weird?
Did you add that last part?
Yes, I did.
Thank God.
And they pass themselves off as record company executives.
Okay.
Written by Lauren Dreyfus, starring Lauren Dreyfus, directed by Boaz Davidson.
Good Lord. I'm going to have to ask you, counselor, where you are going with this, because I feel like we have completely bottomed out with Dutch Treat.
We have. I want to go over one thing with Golan Globus, and then we can get on to the fun stuff.
Okay.
All right.
This hasn't been the fun stuff?
So the Golan Globus, they produced Dutch Treat.
Okay. I'm looking up what a Dutch Treat is. It better be fucking candy or something, because I'm not.
You know it's not. And for $6.99, you can find out what a Dutch Treat is too.
Do you know what? Do you want to feel? I mean, we're not going to feel dumb because this is a stupid saying, but
right.
The term Dutch Treat is an outing, meal, or other special occasion at which each participant pays for their share of the expenses. It's just going Dutch.
You are obviously not on Urban Dictionary.
Please don't tell me what it means on there.
But Golan Globus, they produced a number of like family movies.
With just a hint of boobs.
So in 1987, they did Sleeping Beauty.
Oh my God. I don't want to know how this ends up.
All of these were family, rated G, rated PG. They were I think actually Disney ended up buying the rights for these movies because they did 9 of these movies. They were supposed to do, I think I read 13 or more.
Wow. What are you going to do with that premise in the 13? I mean, does she just keep on falling asleep?
No. It's
narcolepsy or something?
Those awesome. No, I'm talking about the family movies. So that most of them, were all these. So we have Rumpelstiltskin, Beauty and the Beast. All right.
Okay.
Sleeping Beauty. The narcoleptic dream. Just keep waking up. And I can't remember which one started it, but they were on a trend of making all of these movies.
Okay. I don't know if they were filmed here, but they look foreign, even though they have like American actors in them. There's something about them that looks like they were made in like East Germany or something.
Yeah, I would buy that. They were called Canon Movie Tales.
Ugh, that
I don't
just
know if
sounds
you like
like
that or
pornography. That just sounds like pornos. It reminds me of the A Christmas Carol that Bill Murray was trying to do in Scrooged, where you could see the nipple of the dancer and stuff. It's like it's for kids, but there's a little something for daddy too.
So the Canon Movie Tales, and this is under Snow White. Like I said, there's plenty of these, and there's several of them that have some trivia on it. To save money, the Canon Movie Tales were shot 2 or 3 at a time. This movie was simultaneously shot with Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't the best of situations, and often the two crews would be competing for the limited equipment and costumes and sets. So basically,
insane.
They just had a warehouse that they were just running around and filming these movies in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Renaissance fair costumes, and they're just all like kind of trading them out.
So here's the bit of trivia on this. 9 feature films based on classic 9. You cooked her 9s. That's the second time I've quoted that movie today.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to watch that one. Okay, now I'm sorry, just so I can catch up. Are these listed in the big list on Wikipedia?
It should be. Menachem, he directed a few of these too.
Okay.
This is 1987.
87. Okay.
So we're deep into them making a ton of movies right now.
God. There's like 40 of them in 1986.
Just unbelievable amount. So part of the Canon Movie Tales series, 9 feature films based on classic fairy tales. All of the movies featured well-known actors and actresses from the U.S. and the U.K. and were shot on location in Israel.
Ah.
Aha.
Aha.
Ha ha ha.
That's why everything's kind of... That's like gotcha in Israeli. Okay, now I got a link to these. Okay, now I'm on the I'm on the Movie Tales page.
Well, I have taken us all over today. I apologize.
It's madness.
Off the rails.
Madness.
Although the series was originally conceived as a whopping 16 movies, production stopped at 9 when Rumpelstiltskin 1987 flopped at the box office.
Oh, God.
And the remaining movies were sent directly to video. Despite their commercial failure, the movie tales garnered a cult following after the Disney Channel began airing them as storybook cinema in 1988.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because a couple of these look kind of familiar.
Yeah, the Amy Irving in... Which one was it? I don't know now.
My God.
I am lost because there's Hansel and Gretel, Snow White.
The Frog Prince has Helen Hunt in it. Snow White has Diana Rigg in it?
They go all over the place. So Rumpelstiltskin had Amy Irving. Oh, help me out. Billy Barty.
Oh, God. I think we he might just be in every damn one of these.
Yes, he is. Here's a guy that I'm going to mention here in just a second. I'll go down his path. Julian Chargan.
Okay.
I just want to branch off on him real quick. Julian Chargan, he just had that face. And I happened to scroll down his stuff and look to see what he was in. And he's a UK guy. That's why we might recognize his face, just not his name. Mm-hmm. But one movie was questionable to me, and it's called Here Come the Double Deckers.
Again, Urban Dictionary has a very, very different... Sounds disgusting.
It reads, the adventures of a gang of 7 kids whose clubhouse is abandoned in a double-decker bus in a London junkyard. But it usually involves a bit of singing, a bit of dancing, and general fun times.
General fun times. That's what gets kids really excited. Just general fun times.
So this was a TV series, and there was 17 episodes, and it looks disturbingly like Sid and Marty Krofft.
What's it called again? What is that?
It is called Here Come the Double Deckers.
That sounds familiar. I don't know.
I thought for sure you'd have something on this.
Oh, no. Nope. I've never been exposed to this madness. What is happening?
There's Jane Seymour
and Peter Firth. Holy shit. It is very much like, Sid and Marty Krofft, like psychedelic kind of. Wow, that is amazing.
This was 1970 and 1971. So, guys, go check out that.
Oh, God. Just the abuse that those kids must have suffered is not cool.
It's tragic.
Again, Jane Seymour, when she's like 15 or 16 has to be. That is just...
Oh, yes. She's another one that I think probably got very exploited at a young age.
Absolutely. Like, harassed to unbelievable levels. Good God. Tim, you better have a damn good reason we're looking at all this shit. Where is this going?
I don't have any place it's going other than I didn't know it existed.
Who are the guys in the, like, Power Ranger, or they're, like, very colorful astronauts that are...
I don't know.
What year is that? 1970.
That was 1970. Going back to Golan Globus, so back on out of that. Go back to the Golan Globus family films. We also have Hansel and Gretel, 1987, which had David Warner and Cloris Leachman playing Griselda the Witch.
Okay. That's unfair. I love Cloris Leachman.
There was looking at Sleeping Beauty, was 1987, and it had Tawny Welch in it. What do we know her from? Tawny Welch?
I kind of went past that, and I was like, it's very familiar.
She's the chick in Cocoon. She's the titular alien.
Yeah, but there's one, for instance, that was for sure PG, but I mean, I knew like time code when it showed her butt. Like, I mean, I had it, like, I could just pretend like I was watching everything else and just...
Yeah, it was PG-13.
Man, she had a nice butt. As far as movie butts go, A+.
Ranks up there.
Yep.
Also in Sleeping Beauty, though, if you look here, oh, look, Sylvia Miles.
Oh, okay.
Morgan Fairchild. Jane Wiedlin.
Yeah, that was surprising. What year is that one?
These are all around the same
87?
time. Yeah.
That was like at the height of the
Go-Go's.
The Go-Go's.
If you see also here in Sleeping Beauty, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Kenny Baker plays an elf. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're not welcome.
Thank you. All right, well, let's finish up and let's go into the fall of Golan Globus. Now, we're sad to say that, yes, this couldn't go on forever, even though they did some of our favorite movies.
Yeah, couldn't quite keep up the momentum.
They did great, but too many failures with not enough successes at lower rates. And I think this is where Menachem just kind of got out of control. And that's what I thought I saw in these documentaries.
Started making everything that came across his path.
Yoram was constantly trying to find the funds for these movies.
Right. 87 in particular is just like a smorgasbord of shitty movies. Masters of the Universe, Superman 4. I mean...
And Superman 4 is what they said was mostly the demise, is where everything fell
I remember
apart.
when that used to come on HBO, and I would just be like, no, thank you. I know it. I understand that it's a movie I should probably watch, but no. I kind of put my hand out and just say, no.
They had some critical success movies. Now, I never watched Barfly.
I feel like it was on a lot, during my childhood, and I was just like, ew.
Maybe it was because it was sweaty Mickey Rourke and Alice Krieg, Jack Nance, Faye Dunaway, Frank Stallone.
Oh my God. I did not realize that it was based on Charles Bukowski's life. It says semi-autobiographical. I thought it was... Oh, get this. Barfly is a 1987 American comedy drama film. What was...
I see comedy, drama, romance.
Ugh. Yeah, it was hilarious when he barfed on Faye Dunaway.
And there's another reason why I probably never saw this movie, because I didn't pick it up because I kept pronouncing it as Barfly.
Barfly. Yeah, that's his name, Barfly. Barfly the Barfly.
John Kenneth Barfly.
Why do you call him Barfly? Hang on a couple of minutes and you'll see.
That's good. So, around 1988, we start seeing stuff like, you mentioned Salsa.
Yes, the Forbidden Dance.
So, Boaz Davidson wrote and directed Salsa. I remember seeing that on the shelf. And I think this is where a lot of these were like straight to video. Yeah. And I wonder if they couldn't get these in at the theater, and so they were dumping them off on video just to try to recoup some of the money that they were losing.
Who is the audience for a Lambada, do you think?
I'm not sure, because I haven't watched it, and therefore...
I mean, maybe like Dirty Dancing, kind of like because I saw Dirty Dancing a lot, but...
Yeah, because they said it was okay to watch yet another movie about pedophilia.
Oh. Wait a minute. Was
about underage sex.
Her name is Baby in that, which is a little off-putting.
I'm sorry, I got off on a little trail.
I'm completely lost.
We're getting to the downfall. Okay. But in 1987, 1988, we did have a lot of hits. 86, there were a ton of hits, but a lot of misses. Right. Critically acclaimed movies, Barfly. Not so critically acclaimed, Masters of the Universe.
Ooh, that was a real stink burger.
Surrender. I thought that was a pretty good movie. I remember Surrender with Sally Field, Michael Caine, Steve Guttenberg, Peter Doyle, Jackie Cooper, Louise Lasser, Julie Kravner.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that. Hang on, I got to get my eyeballs on it.
This is a wealthy writer who has terrible experiences with money-hungry girlfriends and ex-wives, pretends to be broke, washed-up novelist to see if he can get a woman he loves who wants him for himself, not just for his money. Written and directed by Jerry Belson.
Belson.
You know Jerry Belson as on Student Bodies.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. He was also listed as like part of the writer for Student Bodies or the director at one point. That's how I know his name. I got to Student Bodies by using Jerry Belson way back in the day.
Was he a teacher at the school, or who was he in Student Bodies?
He was the breather.
Okay.
So he was the voice of the breather. I just thought that would bring that up. So you got a classy movie like Surrender with Sally Field and Michael Caine. And then you come back and you do Death Wish 4, which is by now really losing its audience.
Nobody wants to...
I never saw Death Wish 4, The Crackdown.
That's what I'm trying to remember is like, I mean, I was into those movies. Anything with like guns and explosions and shit. And even those were like, I'll just watch Die Hard for the 50th time or something.
Around the same time, 1988, they did Braddock, Missing in Action Part 3.
Braddock!
Not a bad sequel.
Doesn't one of those have an exclamation point at the end of it? Or am I thinking of McClintock or something?
No, that one has a colon. Braddock, Missing in Action 3.
Man, you got a colon, you know it's serious.
You're in it. How about Alien from L.A.?
Oh, God. That is a punishing movie.
Kathy Ireland. Written and directed by Albert Pyun.
Well.
Who did...
Aha!
Sword and the Sorcerer.
We did it. We solved it.
And also did Cyborg, which I also, enjoyed. Sorry, not going to talk about that anymore. But really, they started losing money probably after Superman 4.
Good Lord.
Superman 4 failed so bad.
That was such a weird fucking movie.
I think its budget was cut nearly in half during the making of the film.
That other guy was just laughable.
That other guy. His name is Mark Pillow. Mark Pillow played Nuclear Man.
That's the guy's name is Nuclear Man?
Yep. That's who he was fighting.
What? That's just the final indignity right there.
And I think they cut the budget so hard on Superman 4 that the special effects really, really suffered. So it looked really cheap.
Can't tell a bit. John Cryer was in that.
Yes,
is he
was.
supposed to be... Is he Lex Luthor's like Lenny is his name? That's insane.
We just lost him too, by the way.
What? John Cryer?
No.
Oh, God, don't do
I
that.
got just scared for a second.
I thought John Cryer died. You mean Mark Pillow?
Ned Beatty died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't, that's fine.
Yeah, he just died like June 13th.
Did you know that he won Best Supporting Actor for Network, and he was only in the movie for like 2 or 3 minutes?
Awesome.
It's the same thing with Anthony Hopkins. He won Best Supporting Actor for Silence of the Lambs, and if you put together all the Hannibal Lecter scenes, he's only in the movie for like 7 or 8 minutes.
Wow.
Dropping some trivia on you guys.
Dropping it hard.
That Nuclear Man costume.
Yeah, it was bad.
I want to do that for Halloween one year and see if anyone knows who the fuck I am.
But I do have some trivia. I mean, it bombed so bad at the box office. Now, Christopher Reeve, and this is according to the documentary series too that we were watching. So Christopher Reeve didn't want to reprise his role as Superman.
Yeah.
He kept putting it off until somebody else was getting cast, and I think he stepped in afterwards and said, if you'll back my movie Street Smart, I will do Superman 4. It's a package deal.
What was that? I don't remember that.
Street Smart? Street Smart is Christopher Reeve playing a reporter who fabricates a story about, I believe, a pimp, and then the pimp actually comes after him.
Right.
I've never seen it.
I remember watching it.
Really?
You know what? I mean, I think of him primarily, I mean, I guess everybody does, as Superman, but what was the one with Burt Reynolds and Switching Channels?
Switching,
I think is what
yes,
I'm thinking of.
yes. I remember.
You ever
that.
just latch on to those I'm sure it's an awful movie,
Now.
but I loved it. I think I saw it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I have plenty of movies like that.
That also has Ned Beatty in it.
I have seen Cocktail more than any human alive.
That's another one.
And for the longest time, if it wasn't for Phineas and Ferb, I would have been referring to the Flugelbinder as being the proper thing when it is actually an aglet.
Hey, those are the kind of problems you want to have. Somewhere in Time was really good too.
Yes.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Now, Somewhere in Time, I was going to bring that up because that was Jane Seymour too, right?
Yes.
I almost went down that road earlier.
Yes.
So, In the trivia here for Superman 4, the Cannon Group, thinking they had a potential blockbuster on their hands, cut the 2-hour-plus film down to a lean 90 minutes. So the theater owners would have more screenings per day and potentially make more money that would eventually filter back to the theater or to the studio.
Did that work?
I don't think so because
I don't think so.
It died so horribly.
Yeah.
According to Mark Pillow.
Oh my God. I'm writing that down. According to Mark Pillow. That's going to be my new TV show that I'm coming up with.
He found Christopher Reeve to be quite an intense person during his shooting, but said that Gene Hackman was cool.
Oh my God. Is Gene Hackman not the absolute best? That's like my favorite Gene Hackman role. That and the guy in Unforgiven. But man, he's a good Lex Luthor.
He is. Nuclear Man only has 11 lines. However, in deleted scenes, he has 3 more lines. Anyway,
okay.
They cut the film big time. And I think that's probably there's never going to be a 134-minute cut of this being released because nobody wants to see it.
Right. But somehow better than Superman versus Batman.
Yes.
With Ben Affleck and the other guy. Do you see where it says Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor / Nuclear Man voice?
Right.
What is that all about?
There was a second Nuclear Man.
Okay,
Mark Pillow. Just gonna get
that is
pillows.
I just keep thinking the My Pillow guy, the crazy My Pillow guy.
We didn't mention Dirty Pillows.
Yes. Is that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yes. Those aren't pillows. So Mark Pillow was not the only Nuclear Man. There was actually a first Nuclear Man.
Okay, is it the guy that's kind of green with the spiky hair and stuff?
Maybe. Originally, the film had 2 Nuclear Men. The first dubbed Nuclear Man 1 because that was the easiest thing to do. He wore a black costume.
Okay.
His scenes were filmed, but eventually cut.
It has pictures of that in the photos on IMDb.
Awesome. I wonder.
He kind of looks like Bull from Night Court a little bit. He looks like Richard Mole.
Yeah, I could go as a Richard Mole as fighting Christopher Reeve.
Oh my God.
I would watch that.
I would too. In horror. The trivia for that movie is insane.
Yes.
It says Wes Craven was set to direct.
Yes.
But was replaced after creative differences with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah, he was like, no. Well, Christopher Reeve, when he took on the role, he said also he wanted to be, he's listed as part of the writing team because he was allowed to make creative choices for the film.
Right. He came in swinging his dick around. He was like, give me that script. No, no, no. And he's also like a real method actor too. He's really like...
Yeah, he was real method in the movie called Above Suspicion.
Okay.
It was one of his later films I enjoyed. I think he was accused of killing his wife, but he was playing a paraplegic.
Oh, interesting.
In court, they were trying to prove that he wasn't a paraplegic, I think, and they stabbed him in the leg.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't move.
Okay.
At the end, you see him, get up out of this wheelchair that he was playing. He's really method,
Fuck yeah.
But it was an interesting movie, but it was real interesting that he was playing a paraplegic. And
yes, knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was like similar circumstances. Very weird.
Like he fell off a horse?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Did we just uncover some conspiracy or something?
I've been carrying this with me for some time.
Oh my God. We need to wake up the president.
You've got to wake up the president. Originally had 2 Nuclear Men. His scenes were filmed but eventually cut, allegedly because previews revealed several serious visual effects errors.
Oh, for sure.
The deleted footage was considered for a 5th Superman film that obviously didn't get funded.
Thank God. Again, better than Superman versus Batman.
Yes.
They called everybody to see if they would direct this pile of shit.
If you see, Christopher Reeve suggested to Cannon to hire Ron Howard to direct this film.
Yeah.
And
Ron Howard was unavailable.
Yeah, he was directing Willow, by the way.
Yeah. He definitely didn't wipe his ass with the script and set it on fire. Thank God. I mean, at least he made Willow, you know?
Yes. So anyway, interesting stuff. Superman 4 helped bring down the great company of the Cannon Group, but it also failed because they were looking for money. And they went to a guy that became a partner, I think, in the group.
Okay.
Yes, his name was Peretti.
Okay.
And this, you can read all this. This is in the Wikipedia down here in the 1990 to 1994 relaunch and demise of Golan Globus. Golan left Cannon Films. So I think he was just like, this is going down in flames. I can't do this. I'm stressed to shit.
On my third triple bypass.
Menachem continued working with Peretti. And I think Peretti got into some money troubles, and they all ended up defaulting on loan payments. Together, they bought MGM. So there was an MGM Path merger.
Holy crap.
And even though they did that, they weren't able to make anything out of the company.
That just the ups and downs are crazy.
Well, with this new money, they really believed in it, but they still were putting out some shitty movies.
Mm-hmm.
American Ninja 4 came out about that time, which was American Ninja 4: The Annihilation.
You remember Kinjite?
Kinjite, the forbidden subject?
That, I remember seeing that box and I was like, oh, it's Death Wish, but like, we're going to shoot a bunch of Asian people now.
And that's really kind of what it was.
Uh-oh.
In 1994, Cannon Pictures released its last film, which was Hellbound.
I meant to look that up. It feels like an hour ago. What year was that?
94?
There it is. I see it.
Read it off for our audience.
Frank Shatter is his name. Two police detectives investigate the brutal murder of a rabbi. As the investigation begins, Shatter and Jackson, that's great, are summoned to Israel. That's going to be the sequel. It's like X versus Sever or something.
Yes.
Summoned to Israel for questioning. Upon arrival, they realize that they are, in fact, pursuing a supernatural being. Mm-hmm. Don't you hate that? Satan's emissary. How do you pronounce that? Prositanos?
Ooh. I've eaten there once.
They've got these little, they have like a pesto that they put on like kind of like a toast.
It's not like an olive oil. It's actually just a stick of butter with pesto on it. And you just kind of cram your bread on it. Yeah.
So decadent.
Using the bread as a spoon for the butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of pasta went down between between the Golan Globus. Okay, now wait a minute. This thing gets insane. So however you pronounce his name, Satan's emissary, tried to wrest control of the world from God during the Crusades. However, was stopped by King Richard, who trapped him in a subterranean tomb. During this encounter with King Richard, the source of Prositanos' power, his scepter,
my scepter,
was shattered into 9 pieces, which were This is crazy. Okay, so this guy is trying to find all the pieces to his scepter, and he didn't count on getting roundhouse kicked in the head by Chuck Norris. Sergeant Frank Shatter. That might be the best. I'm trying to think of like a better name than that. Coming up short. There were a lot of hell, like detective and hell movies, you know, like First Power and what was that one with Denzel and John Goodman? Fallen.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so more on the post-canon here. So our guy that came in and swooped in and helped out, his name was Peretti. He helped reorganize Canon Pictures as a low-budget distribution with his Pathe, P-A-T-H-E, Pathe.
Okay.
And they started to try to get things together when they bought out MGM. I don't think it helped them at all. They just got into more money troubles.
Right.
Peretti was pushed out of management control of MGM in 1991 after he defaulted on loan payments. Peretti was later convicted of perjury and evidence tampering in the Delaware court for statements he made in a 1991 civil case. I don't know if that has to do with anything. But the guy's a little crooked.
Maybe. I am under investigation, but we're gonna make the most of this.
In 97, the Supreme Court of Los Angeles entered a final judgment to separate a civil suit against Peretti, ordering him to pay $1.48 billion to whatever.
Billion?
Italian authorities arrested both men and extradited them to the United States. And this was somebody else called Florio Fiorni, and accusing them of fraud. Menachem got in with the wrong guy to try to revive the company, and it just never recovered for anything. At the end of Electric Boogaloo, is there kind of a sit down with Golan and Globus?
I think there is.
Talking like in a movie theater? Yeah.
Yes.
I watched 2 or 3 documentaries, did not get to watch the Go-Go Boys. All of this is just a fascinating story about our childhood and how these movies came to light.
They might be, immoral,
slightly
monsters, but man, they made a good trashy flick.
Good stuff.
I have to say, if we are going to postpone it for a couple of weeks, the movie that I wanted to do is a canon film. So we haven't heard the last of them.
All right.
It's a rich bounty.
Well, let's get to it. First, let's take another little break. And before we do so, let's just thank Golan Globus for making these films, for creating our childhood, for molding us into the geeky men that we are today.
Thank you, you insane bastards.
Hey guys, this is Krista from the Moratorium. Do you like grisly gore and mysteries? Of course you do. That is why I suggest you subscribe to my blog, Suspended Animation, Dormant Stories Waiting to Be Told, where we at the Moratorium offer a number of lurid tales from Axemen running around New Orleans to phantoms in Texarkana. And if you're feeling especially generous, head over to our Patreon, where for just a couple bucks a month, you can help the Moratorium grow. And that would be pretty kick-ass. And remember, long live VHS.
We've been teasing about this movie, and I thought for sure that I knew that next week's movie, or 2 weeks from now, if we're going to do... If we're
2
going to
weeks
announce
from now.
Okay, let's announce it now that next week we're going to have our mini movie marathon.
Yes. Mini summer movie marathon. Do we have a name for it?
No, what did I text you earlier? Something like,
Summer movie madness? Summer Freaky Fest.
Summer Freaky Fest.
Freaky Fest. I mean, I guess, that'll work.
That kind of fits something. We'll come up with something better.
Yeah. Could have a Corey Feldman Fest, I guess.
I watched a movie that had Corey Haim in it. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to watch more of these, and I'm going to probably I'm going to give you at least 5 movies probably, because I'm on a kick now, and there's still a few that I want to watch.
Okay.
So next week, Summer Freaky Fest, tentatively titled.
Yes.
Week after that, we're going to be going back to our regular scheduled programming.
Yes.
And you've been teasing the movie that you were going to take us to, and I kept saying that I knew what it was. And we haven't talked off air about this. You won't tell me.
No.
And I like the surprise, and I think the surprise is a lot of what we're daring each other to watch these movies, it seems like, so we can talk about it for another 2 hours.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like I have given you a couple of real,
well,
almost jiggly hints at what movie.
Well, see, because you said it was more of it could fit in our category for our summer freak fest, or whatever we're calling it.
In that there is a certain amount of skin exposed in it.
Okay. And that maybe it has sand.
Maybe, but it doesn't.
Oh, okay. I thought I had it until you said that it was a Golan Globus film.
Really?
Did you just state that it was next week's movie?
It is a canon film. It is probably my favorite canon film.
No shit. That makes me think that I am incorrect.
Wow. Let's hear what you got.
Let's look at our cast since we're going from Humanoids to the
yeah,
Deep.
Sure.
So we've got Doug McClure, Vic Morrow, Cindy Weintraub.
Let me stop you at Doug McClure.
Oh, you're going to go from Doug?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, well, let me tell you that I was wrong because you said it was going to be a short yarn. I thought for sure you were going to go with Cindy Weintraub, who played Carol in Humanoids from the Deep. And I think Carol was Doug's wife. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you were going with her because I for sure thought you were taking us to The Prowler.
Oh, nope. Sorry.
Damn. This is probably the most sure I've ever been in guessing the movie.
Wow, really?
Yes.
You really think you're in my head? I can't even find... I hate it. I keep on going to the damn TV movie, Humanoids from the Deep. Where in the world is the real one?
The real one. I tell you, though, I did watch most of the end of Humanoids from the Deep. The TV one.
Uh-huh.
The thing that we really like from the original movie, I mean, it did give you that ending that was total alien ripoff. Or the humanoid popping through our raped chick's stomach.
Oh,
right?
my God. So gross.
Why didn't they do an ultrasound and say, maybe we should get this thing out of her before it becomes...
Yeah.
There's a whole nother story there that needs to be told.
Yeah, a potentially thorny subject that we probably shouldn't get into. But
in the remake, in the TV version, it does the accelerated growth thing.
Okay.
Which they didn't necessarily give us in the original movie, but this, in fact, is a woman like in her car driving.
Oh, okay.
She's in traffic or something and comes to a stop, and then her it doesn't show the actual humanoid coming out of her. It's just you see her stomach growing, her dress pushing out, she's screaming. There may have been some blood splatter on the windshield or something, and then fade to black.
Wow.
So really kind of a letdown. Now, they did use some of the original footage from the carnival.
Yes.
You remember when they threw that carnival for the humanoids? And they were like, hey, thanks, guys. And they came in and just tore up the place and killed everybody. Yeah.
Right.
Those humanoids.
They love a good carnival. You know? Who doesn't?
All right. I'm totally wrong. We are not going to the Prowler.
No, we're not. That movie, I enjoy it because it's one of Tom Savini's first movies. Yeah. It is so boring. I mean, and it has such a predictable plot.
Really?
And it's almost like the plot of Student Bodies is actually better than The Prowler. But it does have some good, it's got some good kills.
I think I've only seen it once or twice.
I would rather just watch a supercut of all the Tom Savini makeup effects, No, we are from Doug McClure.
Okay, hold on. Let me click on Doug McClure. Hold on. Dougie.
We are going to go to I guess you could, in a broad description, you could call these, yeah. Oh, no, that's a double entendre here. Adventure movies, Indiana Jones, I guess, but also like, cheap adventure movies like Alan Quartermain, stuff like that. He was in a movie in 1978 called Warlords of the Deep.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Warlords of the Deep.
It looks awesome.
Oh, that
it looks very
box
fakey.
art is incredible.
and if you click through it, I mean, it's just stills of the movie, so the special effects look okay. It's definitely not you're not getting a Ray Harryhausen level of like claymation and stuff like that. It's kind of like a Jules Verne sort of. I mean, it is like a Harryhausen movie,
so
like a Sinbad movie or
Journey
something.
to the Center of the Earth. We find monsters that are
right.
Okay, yeah,
It's Atlantis. I mean, it's all Atlantis.
They are the warlords of Atlantis.
They're the titular
Yeah,
warlords.
yeah.
You'll see why that is
There's a running theme here.
Yes.
Do you think that they were like a biker gang, and also, in real life, and they had just WOA or WOA on their back of their jackets? Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
We are the warriors of Atlantis.
Wasn't that the catchphrase of Joey Lawrence?
Yeah. Whoa. Anyway, it has John Ratzenberger in it.
I saw that.
Is this our next movie?
No, but it has an actor
Hey,
from the movie that we're going to do.
All right.
Peter Gilmore. Not to be confused with David Gilmour from Pink Floyd.
Oh, no,
Though
not the
he
same.
They're both British, but...
Wait, for a second there, I thought you were really going to go with Michael Gothard because he was in Life Force.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I clicked on the wrong damn thing. It is Michael Gothard, and we are doing Life Force.
God damn.
Boom. That was a real roller coaster. I almost had us doing a completely different movie.
Let's see. What?
I'm glad you stopped me before.
Let me help you out here.
Who is that then? Peter Gill. Well, anyway.
I didn't know where you were taking this.
Yeah, weird. Okay. Put Peter Gilmore out of your mind.
Yes.
Michael Gothard.
Michael Gothard. Gothard? Sure.
Let's say Gothard. Let's say it fast like that.
Gothard. Yeah.
And I could not tell you who he is in Life Force. He is he's with the military, I assume. But then there's also that blonde-haired guy. I kind of forget where Michael Gothard, but it doesn't matter because, that's how I usually do these is it just seemed too like serendipitous that one movie away could get to a one that we needed to knock out, so.
Yes.
So that's it.
And that we've talked about often. Let's talk about it for realsies.
Yes, exactly.
Is there a extended Criterion collection of this movie?
I believe that the copy that I have says director's cut or something like that. So if I find out that there's a extra scene, I will definitely let you know.
I'll let you know about those extra scenes.
Oh. I have a feeling there's some deleted scene. Kids, if you're, there's going to be a strong warning probably before, maybe at the end of next week's episode. But there's some, I can think of 2 reasons why you might want to, not let your kids listen to the podcast. I said shirt potatoes earlier, so I don't know how. I don't know how
do you feel about that?
I don't know how much more crude we can get, but we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Oh, we're gonna see him.
But one of my favorite movies of all time, directed by Tobe Hooper. What else do you want?
Yeah,
just a giant. The end of that movie is so insane. Steve Railsback is in it.
Steve Railsback.
Anyway. Great flick.
Michael Gothard, I thought for sure he was in he just has those beady little glasses like he was in, Stargate or something.
He's in a Ken Russell movie, kind of looking like Alex from A Clockwork Orange. But
oh, okay. Just curious.
Yeah. The Devils.
So Peter Firth, did we just mention him a second ago?
We did. We saw him as a young child in a what looked to be a German porno, but it was actually a children's film, oddly enough. I got a lot of trivia about this movie. They called him Colonel Kane because they wanted Michael Caine, and they thought, well, if we just name the character, he'll have to do it.
He'll have to come on in, yeah.
Did not work out. Matilda May is Space Girl.
Space Girl.
It's going to be glorious when we finally do this, but summer movies first.
All right. That's awesome. Why don't you read off? I know our audience, if you're listening to this, you know
a life force.
You
but
know what
it
the
has,
life force is about.
It has a very short descriptor here.
Read it off.
A race of space vampires arrives in London. That's skipping past the first hour of the movie. A race of space vampires arrives in London and infects the populace, beginning an apocalyptic descent into chaos.
Yes.
Is that not the best? I mean, what more do you want?
That is the best sentence ever.
I think so. It is just one sentence, but it says a lot.
Awesome.
Oh man, vampires. There's kind of a zombie element. There's a couple of big elements that we will, you know what I'm saying? Huh? Mm-hmm. Patrick Stewart is in this.
Yes. Beautiful. Patrick Stewart. Frank Finlay, which we brought him up. He was in the Three Musketeers.
Yep. I think there might be a couple of those. And there's a lot of British kind of old actors in this. Aubrey Morris was the school teacher from A Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Matilda May is in this.
I mean, this is a cult classic movie.
Yeah, for sure. They let Tobe Hooper fucking go wild on this thing.
And he did, and they lost their shit on it.
Yeah, was not.
They really did.
It was not successful.
They were really pushing it, but we are so glad they did.
Yep. I mean, I guess that's really a nice little slice of what those canon movies. I mean, that's kind of the epitome of the canon movie, you know. I
buy it. All right, awesome. All right, guys. So next week we are going to do our summer Freaky Fest. I don't know if I like that name. Somebody come up with a better name.
We'll work on it.
We can give it to our audience. Hey, give us a better name. If you're listening to this, give us a better name for our summer Freaky Fest, and maybe we'll use your idea and plug it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Come on, Nick. What you got?
Please. We have nothing left.
Nope. We're spent. And let's go ahead and break this down. Jason, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
Just go to themoratorium.com.
Moratorium.com.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
No. You'll find a link to everything, including Life Force, which I will put up on the website. You can get a quick link to it. You can watch Life Force for free, by the way, on Tubi and Pluto.
Very nice.
Very nice. We like free movies. And we know both of those, there's non-subscription services that are not censoring your movies.
Man.
Not going to blur out those boobies.
This would be a 20-minute long movie if that was the case.
Oh, yes. But, hey, if you feel like you want to support our podcast, like, I was really thinking about some mammary support. I was working on that.
Mammy.
If you guys feel like you'd like to support a couple of boobs, come on over to our Patreon and throw us a couple of bones.
That was really good, Tim.
You like that? We're a couple of boobs.
I like that a lot.
All right. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. Hey, we'll give you a shout out on the air. If you want to give us a little bit more, we'll give you a little bit back. For $3 a month, you can have the director's cuts to our movie episodes. That's right, guys. I cut out at least 20 minutes out of every episode just for our director's cut. You should run over and check it out.
Please.
We appreciate your support. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Force a family member into listening to this show. Whatever you got to do.
Tie them up.
That's it.
Tie them down.
All right, Jason, you got anything else to add?
Nope.
Oh, we didn't tell everybody they can find us on every kind of social media. Go check out our Facebook group. And hey, come on in, have a good time, throw out some memes. We love them.
Yes.
You can find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. Check us out, guys. All right, Jason, you got anything else to add?
Nope.
Let's break this bitch down.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You've been listening to The Yarn Wall, an MT Cornfield production. Tune in next week for our summer movie marathon, where bikinis, beach babes, blood, and boobs will all be represented. In the finest moratorium fashion, where nothing is sacred. If you have any movie suggestions, or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
I know we're way, way off, but weren't we already when we started?
Were we on?
We were never on.
Okay.
We're always off.